Hi, I'm Rev Dele with Spirit of Resilience. And as a climate reality leader trained in Johannesburg, I've had this really odd experience that the more and more I talked about land-based solutions and caring for Mother Earth, the less invitations I got to speak, and the more I got pushed to the margins. I've been ignored and just dismissed, much like we're treating Mother Earth and our indigenous brothers and sisters. So that's why we conceived of the spirit of resilience, to strengthen the voice of Mother Nature in the environmental movement, particularly when it's time for funds to go out. So we have recordings of frontline work, but we need a team to put that material together and get it out on the line. We have amazing stories from our indigenous brothers and sisters of successful practices that will work and get us out of this mess. More people need to hear that. So that's why we're coming to you to ask, will you help fund the resilience?
Hi, I'm Adam Sachs, Executive Director of Biodiversity for a Livable Climate. And I grew up in New York City, where the only wild nature I knew was squirrels, cockroaches, my pet cat, and grass bravely growing through the concrete and asphalt. I never had the chance to fall in love with the beauty of living creatures. I only knew the grit, stone, and rubble of the city. Now, decades later, I see the Earth as the planet created by life on behalf of life, something spectacular and unique in the universe that our global civilization is tearing apart. We can change course. We can turn around the onslaught of floods, droughts, extreme heat, rampant disease, violent weather, and climate change. With spirit and science united in common cause, on behalf of this magnificent planet that gives us life, we humans can help the living Earth thrive once again.
Hi, I am Paula Phipps, Associate Director of Biodiversity for a Livable Climate. Growing up in Boston, Franklin Park was my experience of nature in the city. And growing up in that city was also my first experience of a multicultural world. In 1963, the March on Washington called me, and it was a transformative experience. Rachel Carson's Silent Spring also was a transformative experience, but a terrifying one. And I watched as this beautiful, abundant planet began to unravel, and was, as an educator, a mother, particularly concerned for the fate of the children and later of the trees. Biodiversity for a Livable Climate's first conference gave me hope. Life is the most powerful force on this planet. It has the ability to self-organize and self-heal, and we as humans can learn how to work with it, with the science and with the wisdom and practice of indigenous people and Black peoples. The power of science and the wisdom of spirit together can help us heal the planet in the creation that is unfolding.
Hello and blessings, folks. I'm Terrican with Spirit of Resilience. You know, there is power in telling our stories. And the land and the water, they carry our stories. Stories of remembrance, of trauma, healing, self-determination, food, medicine, wisdom, blessings. I bear witness to the deeply sacred stories and spiritual work of Black and Indigenous folks and of frontline communities. I bear witness to Black and Indigenous healers, connected to the wisdom of the land and deeply rooted in spirit, resilience, resistance, and reimagining in our movement spaces. Of prayer warriors and root workers and time travelers who carry the wisdom of the land in their stories and in their medicine. I bear witness to Black farmers and growers who carry forward the powerful legacy of self-determination and intergenerational work. I'm a proud part of this community and this legacy, and that is why I show up for this work every day. I bear witness to Black and Indigenous communities, displaced, disappeared, and disproportionately affected by laws and policies, many steeped in discriminatory practices. This needs to change, and it can, and it is, and that's why I'm inviting you to join us. Join us as we uplift the voices and the wisdom and the stories of these Black and Indigenous earth keepers who have never lost their connection to nature and who continue to do the work. There is power in these stories. Nature is speaking, and I invite us all to listen.
Hi, my name is Laure. I'm an intern at Biodiversity for a Livable Climate. I first heard about this organization in July of 2019. And then in April of 2020, I attended their 13th conference called Blessing and Rest. It made me realize that I had no idea of the scale of the problem, but at the same time, this organization gives me hope because they offer solutions.